guys, how you doing? Welcome to a beautiful day in Houston, Texas. It's pretty nice out today, actually. It's been raining in the morning and yesterday, so I'm actually not going to take my cars out for a drive, but definitely it is quite nice. I'll give you guys a little look right here. I want to take a look. It's actually quite nice. Clear skies and everything. It's quite beautiful. Anyways, something I did want to mention, the RCF. Let me put in the background right there, this little baby right here. The RCF. The brakes on this car are absolutely amazing. With the carbon ceramic, everything, and just the sheer size of the brake disc and the brake pads themselves, it is quite large. If you look at my GS, I did the GSF front brake conversion, not for the carbon ceramics, but just for regular rotors. But you see there's like a little space right here. This space is actually filled out with the carbon ceramics, and let me go ahead and show you right here. Where there's going to be that missing brake rotor is actual brake rotor itself. So this brake, the braking power on these brakes is simply amazing. The modulation is quite amazing. I mean, if you just depress the brakes and feather it, the car just stops like on a dime. And then the GS 350 actually follows suit after that. It's actually got really good braking too. Sadly enough, the Subaru actually just washed yesterday, so it's looking real nice and clean. I kind of felt like it was lacking, especially with the spirited driving that I do with this car. So I decided to go ahead and do the Brembo rotors, the OEM Brembo rotors. I got those, and I also am going to go ahead, I know I wanted to wait, but I'm going to go ahead and do the STI JDM pads. Surprisingly, these pads, oh, someone's calling me, hold on a second. Sorry for the interruption, but so these pads, they actually sell these in the States now, believe it or not. I think they run about 800 bucks for the pair, which is actually pretty close to what I paid for in Japan. Now, because of the foreign exchange rate that's going on now, these are quite a bit cheaper. I think they're about $150 cheaper. So if you want to take advantage of getting these brakes, I would go ahead and do it, but I think I'm just going to get these pairs for now, and then maybe later on I'll probably go with another different type of set, probably the G-Locks, just because they're a little bit more affordable. But anyways, we're going to do this today, and then since it's raining, I'm not going to take it out for a test drive, but I will definitely test drive it, obviously, and I will let you guys know. But for today, we're going to go ahead and do the modification. All right, first things first, we got to put I'm going to do the rears first, so I'm just going to jack the car up and take off the wheels. Oh, also, since it's actually due up now, is I have to do a tire rotation. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as I kind of move forward. So as I take the wheels off, I will be just kind of placing them here. And then when I put the wheels back on, they're obviously going to be in different areas. I'm going to do the back cross, so basically take the fronts, cross them, and then take the rears forward in a straight line. But yeah, let's get started and get the car up and the wheels off for the rear. We did get the rear wheels off, car's raised. First thing I gotta do is I gotta punch out these pins, these brake pad pins, and I see a lot of people that use a Phillips screwdriver. I don't do that. I actually use a roll pin punch set. I don't know if they make any other tools that can do it, but these are pretty good. I kind of wish they had indentions in them, but they don't. These I feel work a lot better than the ones than a screwdriver. I did put a bit of masking tape on the end of this one. That way I won't do my absolute best not to damage the powder coating on the brakes. Alright guys, well, we did get everything out. It was actually a pretty easy job since I didn't really have the brake rotors on for a very long time, so it wasn't really difficult to get out. I did put some anti-seize on my caliper bolts, so they were pretty easy to get out too. Something that I did that I don't think is required is I reduced the torque by 20% to account for the anti-seize. But here are the old brake pads. They're the original Brembos. I'm going to keep these just for future use because they're barely even worn. If you take a look, I barely use these. But compared to the STI, I guess JDM versions, which now are sold in the States, you can tell there's definitely a difference in the compound. These are carbon ceramics, the STI ones, and these are, I'm guessing they're just the cheap metallic, organic metallic compounds that Brembo makes, which is still good quality. I guess it's the NAO ceramic or whatever it's called. So these, I think, should make a difference. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to get any type of contamination on those pads. But we'll go ahead and put those in, as well as the new rotors. Here are the Brembo rotors made specifically for the WRX STI that I'm going to put in. They do sell these at TireRack.com and online, I believe. So it's not too bad. Now, I guess you're wondering, is it any lighter than the ones that I had on before? I can't remember what these were called. 18.2 pounds for the rotors that I had on originally. And the Brembo rotors, let's see here, these feel just as heavy. These are 18.2 as well. So don't really see too much of a difference. In fact, they are exactly alike. These brake pads should make a difference. Carbon ceramics definitely should have a more, I guess, track-focused appeal to them. So we'll see when we put them on. You definitely want to use some type of iron cleaning brush to clean off the surface mating between the rotor and the hub. And of course, I use a towel afterwards to kind of clean it off. Luckily, it wasn't too much, because I mean, I barely had those rotors on. And then, of course, you want to use a brake caliper press to push in the pistons evenly. You don't want to put too much pressure. Like, once it just kind of gives a little bit of resistance, it's time to stop. And then it's just a ratchet style. It just kind of pushes that forward. And then I'm loosening it right now. So I'll just take it right out. It just comes right out. So that way it's easier to put the brake pads in. The 6-piston one, you actually have to use 2 of these. I'm going to be doing that for the first time, so we'll figure that out as we go. But did want to show you guys. A lot of people use, I think, like C-clamps or whatever. I never really liked that. This is, I think, the better method of putting it in. I just want to take a moment to just admire the visual, I guess, excitement that this type of color combination brings. I'm a very visual person, so when I see like these highlight colors just kind of accent each other, it's quite thrilling to see, and it just makes you feel that you really are driving a track prepped car. It's just absolutely beautiful. If you look at the whole setup, it's quite nice. Really appreciate it, and you know, definitely STI. This is how I think they win in their marketing and just making money with parts. I mean, if you just look at this, it's just simply amazing looking, and you know, can't wait to try it out, because the performance really should be the important part of this whole setup. Look at this, man, that is just looking good with that cross-drill rotor. And then if you can take a quick peek, you can see right here, you can see a little bit of that pink. I don't know how much. There you go, right there's a good view of the pink brakes. I don't know how long they're going to be staying pink. Pretty much after driving a while, they're going to become black, but it is a good look. It definitely completes the look of the car in general, with the wing in the back. Yeah, absolutely love it. Can't wait to test it out. I did go ahead and remove that middle pin there, and then use the roll pin set to punch out these pins. They're right there. Here's the whole caliper set, and there's the middle bolt that was taken out. And just looking at the 2 pads, they're actually kind of different. The OEM pad, the one on top, it's actually chamfered on both sides if you take a look, and it's chamfered on the top as well. The STI pad, it's only chamfered on one side, and then the other side is solid. But also, if you look at the pad material coverage, like you notice in that corner there, there's a lot more space there than there is there. I don't know if you can really tell, but you can tell that they try to maximize the amount of pad space for the OEM Brembos compared to the STI version. Not sure how that's going to play out. I guess we'll find out when we have them installed. Alright guys, well, I got the rotor off. Wasn't too difficult. And I just wanted to show you this part right here. I couldn't for the longest time understand why they didn't make 6-pot calipers presses. But it turns out you just need 2 of the 4s. And you just kind of put them in, I guess, lengthwise, and then you'll have the middle one right here, and then you'll get half or a little bit more of the outside pistons on both sides, and you just gently, I guess, extend the caliper, and then you'll press all 6 pistons back at the same time. It took me a while to figure that out, how to do it. I had to search online for quite a while, but that's definitely how I would do it, and I just wanted to show you guys. Something else that I wanted to point out is the squeal marker, I guess a brake indicator. It's on the top corner, whereas on the OEM, it's actually on the bottom corner. It's kind of strange. I thought I'd point that out for those of you that are doing the modification. I did double check with the instructions. They do show the indicator right there on the top. I know it's in Japanese, but that's the direction of the rotor, and it shows the chamfer edges on the bottom right there. So this would definitely be the right way. This is actually the wrong pad. It actually should be this pad right here. If you look at this pad, the chamfers are on the bottom, the rotor is going to be going forward, and that would be the driver's side for us. I did put these, I did kind of just overlap these with these. This definitely has just a little bit more surface area. I'm not sure, these front pads have completely been redesigned. So I'm curious to see what type of performance they have in addition to the compound change. You only need to put brake grease on the sides. As you can tell on the back of these, they're perfectly dry. I don't know why you don't have to put it why you don't have to put it on the backs, but only on the sides. But it says it in the manual as well, and it shows it right here in the instructions. If you want to take a look, it says put the grease just on the sides, as opposed to the other ones, the rears, where they ask you to put it on the back section too. If you take a look right there, they're asking you to put on the back and the sides. So just thought I'd let you guys know. Here it is in the front. Oh my god, it looks so much better than it did before with the red brake pads and the STI pink brake pads and these cross-drilled Brembo OEM rotor replacements. It just looks so much better. The car looks a lot more competitive, looks more aggressive, and it honestly looks bright. Everything looks kind of correct with the OEM Plus look, and it just looks great. Cannot wait to try it out. So that'll be definitely the next video, if not the end of this video, if I haven't already released this one. So anyways, a couple things I did want to mention. The brake caliper torque ratings have been all over the place for this car. From what I know and read, the correct torque values are approximately, I believe it's 80 foot-pounds for the brake calipers. And then this one, I believe, was, I think, 23. This one, that wasn't a problem. What I wanted to mention this one was that I actually put anti-seize on this bolt, the one in the back. It's not required. In fact, the factory bolt comes with the factory Loctite, but I've read that this bolt actually does get stuck as well, and it shears off, and it may cause problems. And of course, everyone has problems talking about the brake caliper bolts just freezing, so I put anti-seize on that. Now, it is questionable whether or not you do want to reduce the torque value. I did. I reduced it by 20%. The anti-seize that I did use, it is a copper anti-seize by, I believe, Permatex. And I actually read their MSDS, and they actually don't require that you reduce the torque values. But I did read from, I think, a desk ref. It's a really famous book. It says that when you use copper anti-seize to reduce the values by 20%. So I went in and did that. I've done it before in the past. And when I took off the bolts, they were still pretty much very, very, very snug. So I'm quite confident that what I did was correct. But of course, this is not recommended by Subaru. If you want it, you should always do. If you're going to ask me whether or not to use it, I'm not going to say to do it. I'm just going to say you need to use what the factory service manual says. And just to kind of double check, you should always check Nasiok, but I believe it's about 80 pounds for the brake caliper bolts. I think the FSM incorrectly states it at 114 foot-pounds. You're going to probably stretch the ball and break it, and that's going to give you huge, massive problems. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to put these wheels on and just drive and enjoy this car for a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, a couple hundred miles just to kind of enjoy these brakes. Then I'm going to put it up again and going to do that parent upgrade for the big three. Alright guys. Alright, well, we got everything buttoned up. Looks absolutely amazing. I'm so happy I went ahead and just did this mod. Now everything looks pretty much, I don't know, I guess as good as it can get. You know what I mean, with the RCF and the cross-drilled carbon ceramic brakes. Now I got the cross-drilled Brembo OEM STI brakes for the WRX. As well as the GSF Brembos slotted, you know, for my GS. Definitely really happy about all of these upgrades. Very thankful. And of course, I just want to thank you guys for, you know, watching the channel. I have no idea. I'd probably have a whole bunch of brake dust on my face and all that and grease, but, you know, who cares? I'm so glad to be able to work in my car. You know, really thankful that I have subscribers for my channel. And just want to thank you guys for everything. Definitely will give you an update on these STI brake pads as well as the cross-drilled Brembo rotor combination. Definitely looking forward to trying it out. It's a little late, so maybe tomorrow. I think the weather's going to be good. So we'll check it out. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, I washed the car, got everything ready, and it just looks great. It's kind of funny because, you know, people who have STIs are kind of like, well, you know, I already have this, but, you know, after using those blank rotors for the longest time and now having these Brembo cross drills, it just looks freaking awesome, especially with the STI brake pads. Kind of sneak a little bit of that pink there so you guys can take a look. But awesome. Can't wait to try it out. Car looks great too. It's visually thrilling to look at. So anyways, guys, that's it for today. I'll talk to you later.